Namaste everyone, and welcome to another of our live Friday after QiGong sessions. So again, we're delving into the 5 elements, and today we're adding in a bit more time before to ground, to connect to our bodies and to open up all the different joints and mobility. So rubbing those palms together, taking a nice deep breath. As usual, find yourself a comfortable position, seated or standing, enough space to move your arms around. We're going to do a bit with our spine today. So without further ado, let's get started. So this one again, just opening up the wrists. So turning the hands over each other and just flexing, really get a nice stretch on them fingers, really flex the fingers and the wrists, keeping the elbows and the shoulders relatively relaxed. You can imagine your shoulder blades melting down the back body, line of opposition between the tailbone and the crown. It just brings some whole body awareness as we do this. As we go on to open up those elbow joints, making circles. The elbows stay soft in space, shoulders are nice and relaxed. And just circling around one way again, you can keep flexing those wrists and them fingers if that feels good. And the other way. Just acknowledging this is some time for self-care, for your body. Just notice what's going on in you today. So let's open up them shoulders. So take the backs of the palms forward, and we're letting the tops of the shoulders, this movement in the upper arm, bring the rest of the arms around. So the lower arms just follow the upper arm. Nice opening. I have a little bit of a wave through the spine as I do this, going the opposite way so the backs of the palms push away. Again, it's them shoulders, it's the tops of the arms that are opening the movement, that are bringing the arms round. Lovely. Just a couple of times backwards to reset. Okay, so let's open up the neck and relax into the tops of the shoulders. So we start with owl turns its head. So we've got our palms in front of our abdomen. Just open the palms, let the fingertips drop down, and back to center, and the other way. Letting gravity do the work, so we're not forcing the hands and the arms down, we're relaxing, softening into it, letting gravity do the work. And again, we turn and look to those fingers, lifting in the crown, imagining that line of opposition between the crown and the tailbone, just to offer a bit of integrity and support through the neck and the spine. Really letting those shoulder blades melt down the back body. And back to center. Okay, so now let's open up to stork spreads its feathers to really release those lines of tension in the top of the neck. So arms come round and drop down at the sides. Staying active in the whole palms and the fingers. So scooping up, imagine water, we're scooping and we're pushing it away to the sides. Letting the shoulder blades melt down the back body. One more time. And we stand slightly. Let those fingers be heavy. And this time, imagining that line of opposition between the crown and the tailbone. We can take, if it feels comfortable, honour your own neck. The line of opposition between the crown and the tips of the fingers. Again, providing support through the spine, through the neck, while at the same time offering a bit of an opening of the energy pathways and the muscles and the tops of the shoulders right the way down the arms to the fingertips. I find this one quite a release. Often shoulders can carry tension, or if like me you've been carrying anything awkwardly and the body comes slightly out of alignment because you're carrying things that are too heavy and in awkward positions if you're gardening for the last time of the year. So we're just inviting the body to just move how it feels. It needs it here just to open up any tension, any tightness. And if there's still some tension and tightness, we can tap the tops of the shoulder and just to the back. This is a gallbladder point, which is great for releasing tension and tightness in the tops of the shoulders. and it's also a great one for releasing when there's been a lot of thinking going on. It's great for releasing overthinking. If you've had a really busy day, stressful time at work, this can help just bring you back into the body and release any tension or worrying that's going on in the head. And again, this side. And again, you can tap with a cupped palm, you can tap just with a closed beak or with your fingertips. Find what feels good for you. Experiment with pressure today. Perhaps with an audible sigh, which helps release any tension or tightness. And then again, we're going to tap on those lung points that we talked about. So we follow the collarbone along to where it meets the shoulder pocket, 2 finger widths below that. We've got our lung point, so we're just going to give it a nice little circle. This is linked to your immune system, to your lungs, so you can imagine just breathing, awareness, attention, support to the lungs, releasing any tension or tightness. If you notice any tightness or knots in these places, the Chinese call this the mu point, the alarm point. So again, follow the collarbone where it meets the shoulder pocket, 2 finger widths below. So we're just supporting, stimulating the immune system with us coming into the autumn, essentially the cold and flu season. So really just putting some awareness, some attention right the way into them fingertips. If it helps to visualize white light washing into the lung point, just to bring your mind into the practice, to keep you present here and now. The gift of Qigong, linking the mind, the body, the spirit. A space to be fully present. Okay, so let's open up into the waist, and we might do another couple of points if we've got time. So let's open up into the waist and around the abdomen. So we'll just start with circling. So hands on the hips, and it's quite a subtle circle. Just again, this one's to spiral. The Chinese say, well, my sensei says, the Chinese say that spiraling, circle this movement. If there's one exercise to do each day, it's this one, to really open up around our core and to support that spiraling energy. We know nature grows in spirals, the trees, the plants, the DNA, the helix. So we're just supporting that spiraling right the way through the body. And again, whole body awareness right the way through, from the soles of the feet to the crown of the head. And for those seated, you can do this through your sits bones. You can still move around that upper body. Again, it's just the intention to create this bit of space around this part of our body as we now go on to tray of teacups. So today we take an arm out, we've got our nice teapot. We're going to bring that foot leading with your little finger, turning with the wrist as well, and we're turning into the side. We're keeping that palm upright, imagining we're holding a teacup as it comes round and to the side. So I'll show you again. Comes round, behind, around, behind. And this time so we turn the hips out to create space for the arm to go through. So as the arm goes over the head, the hips go forward. As the arm goes behind, the hips are back. Really flexing those fingers, turning around the wrist and the opposite way. You'll find these ones are in our June QiGong challenge, tray of teacups. It took me a bit of time to get the coordination on these, so find yourself, meet yourself where you're at today, and be patient in the journey. So again, slightly cupped palm, through, behind, around and over. In, behind, around and over. And then we bring in the hips. Hips go back as the arm goes back, hips go forward as the arm goes over the head. And again, just bringing back some whole body awareness. That spiraling's coming right the way through the sits bones or the soles of the feet. Lovely. And let's just wake up that brain and bring us fully into the moment. So for this, we're going to leave one arm out and we're just going to keep, again, we're getting the arm going around with the hips and the waist. And once we've got the momentum, you can take the other arm in the opposite direction. So as one goes over the head, one goes behind. And this is again just to bring full body awareness and support that spiraling through the body, keeping a nice line of awareness through the tailbone and the crown to support the spine and the neck. And hopefully after this we'll be feeling a little bit more open and certainly more present. So taking them backs of the palms, tuck those fingers coming into you like this, and again you can then push to the bottom corners of the room, imagining through the wrists we're pushing down, relaxing the shoulder blades, and again it's just a gentle leaning in to open up them lines all the way down the arms, and again the tension in the tops of the shoulders and the neck. So after that, give your wrists a nice good flex, relax. Right, let's do a little bit with the spine and open with the door of life. So first we'll start with picking the cherries. This one's lovely if you've done a lot of seated stuff, to really open up the vertebrae in the spine, creating a bit more space. So imagine that hip hooked down, anchored down. We're just reaching above, we're imagining picking cherries, keeping nice and straight in the core and the spine. So we're just getting a bit of a reach, a bit of a stretch, and that's creating a bit of a space and stretch right the way through the spine. Opening up a bit into the side body as well. And this time what we'll do is we'll open to the front and back of the spine today. So this is a movement you can do seated, just with the upper body. And for those that are standing, you can take a slightly wider stance. They call this the Mabu stance, so horse stance. So a slightly wider stance. And we're just bringing the arms around, up. You can have a slight arch in the lower back if that feels comfortable. And then we're going to lean forward, arms stay straight out in front, and then again up. So we're breathing in to lift and out to release. This one can be nice when you're standing, to open up as well a bit into the backs of the legs. And just bringing in a bit of a spinal flexion for the front and back of the spine, and this will support us when we get to fountain flow. Find what feels comfortable, always maintaining some awareness through that crown, so we're supporting the neck and the spine. And then there can come some looseness and lightness in there. Right, hopefully we'll feel a little bit more stretched, a little bit more spacious after this. So let's knock on the door of life and open up what the Chinese call the door of life, which is just this kidney point on the lower back. So we're knocking either side and never directly on the spine. We're just going to start again from this qua. We're moving, turning from the hips and waist. So this stays nice and fixed. You can imagine the lower body almost set in concrete. We're just turning around this point in our qua, just on the insides of the hips. And we're letting the arms follow the shoulders, but we're not especially moving them. And then if it feels comfortable to you, again maintaining that lift in the crown, you can turn to look behind you and allow the arms to gently knock on the lower back. This is a nice invigorating warm up that you can do. I do this most mornings. Natural QiGong shot, caffeine shot, minus the coffee, just to wake up that lower energy center and get that energy again whirring when we're spiraling right the way up the spine, right the way through the soles of the feet, and supporting a bit of opening into the neck. You can do this one in a wider stance if that's comfortable to you as well, and that just brings a little bit more opening into the hips. So we're adding a little bit more variation here as well. We've had a few practices now, so offering some variations to grow, to develop, to find what feels good. Okay, and then we're going to take them arms up and just knock onto the lung points again. These areas here just below the collarbone where it meets the shoulder pocket, and that's just to activate them lung points and release any tension or tightness there. And you can then take it over and knock on the shoulders if you're still feeling tension and tightness. Lovely one for grounding. And then back to the shoulders. And back to the lower back. You can do this as well with your head to the centre. Just a slightly different feel. And then slowing it down. This one's called water waves, just slowing it down. And that's a lovely one, again, just turning from that waist point. This can be lovely to do after a busy time at work, at times of transition, or before bed, just imagining the thoughts of the day washing out of your fingers down into the water. Feeling calm, relaxed, water gently lapping around you. The mind is emptying, emptying, emptying. Lovely, so hopefully we feel nice and spacious now. We'll just bring a bit of awareness to our lower body. So again, you can just rub or gently bob down them legs. Just those that are seated as well, just to bring some awareness to the lower body, keeping, so we're dipping the tailbone, but we're not tucking it or anything, we're just dipping the tailbone and standing. So we're trying to keep a nice straight upright spine. Just rubbing, our legs have got, in Chinese medicine, energy lines all the way down them, and we're just warming up the muscles as well, letting the body know we're going to be doing some standing postures. Get them legs all ready. Can do some circling with the knees gently. Got quite sensitive knees sometimes, so find what feels good for you today. And then awareness. This is one that I love doing, especially barefoot, to really flex the ankles and the toes. The ankles take a lot of our weight, and it's nice to give them the full flex of their mobility, especially if you do a lot of repetitive movements like me of cycling. Lovely. It can be nice to just give them a full twist and flex instead of just going in the same motions all the time. Okay, so we're going to shake the tree, and we're going to go on to our 5 element standing postures and flows that we've been practicing, and then we'll go into a short body scan to end. So let's start by just, again, it's just the tailbone gently drops down and up. We've got a slight tuck of the chin, lift of the crown, so we're nice and straight. We've got integrity right the way through the back body. And then you can imagine tension, tightness, just releasing out the whole body. Really flex them wrists if it helps. Notice if there's any tension in any part of your body, including the organs, the abdomen. Sometimes worry, anxiety, anger, frustration, these emotions can get held in the body. And here we're just letting it go. Shaking like the autumn trees that are really shedding here at the minute. Letting go of the old leaves. And it's compost for new life, for new growth. Really let your body be soothed. Open, relaxed, alert. If you've had lots of emotions going on, you can sweep them arms up, touch the palms together, which connects our heart meridian, and release. Lovely. So when you're ready, meeting me in Wuji posture, so the feet slightly wider than hip width apart. Slight bend in the knees, slight dip of the tailbone, lift of the crown, bringing them arms in front of the abdomen for our lower embrace the tree, which is for our lung, which is the metal element. Really noticing the four corners of your feet. So if you've got corners at the heels and the balls of the foot, whole body awareness. And now we invite the breath to sink in the body. Just noticing where it's landing, not trying to force or change anything. Gentle and soft in the elbows, but slightly away from the body, alert. Slight stretch of the palms as if stretching a drum skin. Not uncomfortably so, just opening up, creating space. The body for circulation. And you can then invite your mind to sink down, down, down. Imagine stepping into a lift. And that lift descends down the brain, down, down, down. From the head, down through the chest, the abdomen, and to settle in your lower abdomen like a pebble in the pond. The mind meets the breath, low and deep in the body. And here we're embodying qualities of courage, of strength, of clarity, of boundaries. Supports the lungs, supports the skin. So just breathe in some awareness and gratitude. As we now go on to our flow, which is Buddha holds up the earth, so our arms come up and over the head, turning around that thumb. We breathe in at the top and we release and anchor it down in the kidneys at the base. Again, that light shines into them lung points as it comes down, so we're really supporting and nourishing our chest. Our fingers are open, slightly cupped. Turning around that thumb supports the lung meridians through our arms. Still allowing that breath to land slow and deep in the body. One more time. And bring the arms behind us. Support the kidneys. So again, they're just like lower embrace the tree at the front, except we bring them behind the back. Keep the spine straight if you want to lean forward a bit to make it more comfortable. Keeping a nice straight spine. Slight roundness in the arms. We'll not be here for too long, but just imagine this one is like a lower back breath, a kidney breath. Just breathe in awareness, attention, bringing awareness to the lower back, to the kidneys, to the door of life. And it supports and nourishes the waters of your body, so you can imagine like a water fountain, the energy accruing in this place, and then like a fountain bubbling up through the body, supporting and nourishing the brain, supporting and nourishing all the waters of the body, and building awareness and attention in our lower energy center, our dantian, our door of life. With Qigong we build and then we flow. It's like building the waters in the dam, and then when it's ready, releasing those waters and letting it wash through the system. You might wish to bring your tongue to the roof of the mouth, just behind the teeth but not touching, to connect the microcosmic orbit of the front and back body as well. Try it Experiment, find what feels good for you. One more nice deep breath. And when you're ready, bring me with palms at the front, still in our Wuji stance. Palms wash, imagine like over the surface of water and the fountain up the spine. So you'll notice it's not as strong as when we do silk reeling. It's more gentle. Silk reeling takes us right forward. With this one, it's a very subtle little wave, right the way from the tips of the toes up, and from the lower back and around the shoulders, the chest. And you can sync it with your breath to breathe in to come up. The elbows stay quite fixed in space. Whole body awareness. A couple of times more. And we come to our embrace the tree. So this is supporting our wood element, our liver. The liver which filters the toxins, just like trees filter out what they need and what they don't through their roots. We slightly extend the fingers, it's supporting, stretching space in the fascia, the connective tissue that supports and holds the organs, that stretches right the way through, hugging halfway through the body. It's a massive network, and here we're allowing the space that it wants and needs. This element supported by loving kindness, so I invite you now to perhaps play with an affirmation, some self-compassion and love. I am loved, I am loved, I am healthy, I am supported. And we breathe that in, slow and deep. And we can now go to our flow for this one. In fact, we'll come up the side of the body. Tree sways in the wind. So the arms trace up the side body. We've got our nice Mobot going on. Supporting the energy pathways that support the wood channel, the liver, the gallbladder. One more time. So we're holding the golden urn to the yang position just above our heads. Elbows soft, arms slightly extended. I'll not be here for long, just imagine a straight line from the crown to the tailbone. Bringing in the warmth of the sunlight, letting it wash down through your arms, down through the face, down through into the chest, the heart, where that warmth, that golden light is washing all the way through the body, pumped all the way around, tips of the toes to the tops of the fingers. And when you're ready, we go to cloudy hands. So again, that's where we shift the weight, turn and change hands. Shift the weight, turn, change hands. Shift the weight, turn at that core point again, change hands. This one's supporting and nourishing the heart. Like mist rising off the waters. The waters balance and temper the heat of the sun. In Chinese medicine, the balance comes through honouring and balancing all the elements rather than overemphasising or focusing necessarily on just one. As we support and nourish the whole system, everything comes into alignment. Our final one, getting nice and grounded, pebble in the pond, so the palms slightly dip down, elbows slightly soft, almost like T-Rex arms, but a bit further out. And just breathe in awareness and attention to the stomach, the spleen, the solar plexus. Giving thanks for digestion and integration of all the energy we need. We receive into our body every day, multiple times a day, every meal. And you can also toy with the affirmation here. I trust. I am trusting. I trust in life. I trust I am safe. I trust I am supported. I trust that I can meet everything that comes. Because the spleen, it can carry worry in Chinese medicine. Supporting and honouring that aspect as we now pebble in the pond. Imagine them waves rippling out, breathing in and out. So we gather into that solar plexus area. One more time. And let's draw down those heavens. Arms come round and purple light washes down through the whole body. Relaxing, settling, integrating. In Chinese medicine, the sky is associated with spirit. Whatever that means to you, just imagine receiving in everything you need, everything settling in the body, calm, restored, present. And this time, as we gather, bringing in whatever quality of energy we need today, joy, peace, energy. We're bringing it to a centre at our lower abdomen. It's like bending the knees, lift of the crown, tuck of the chin. Just another couple of nice abdominal breaths just to centre and anchor back in our core, back where we started. We've built a lot from the door of life. Open the spine. And now we come back to our centre. Final nice deep breath. And then you can circle up the right and down the left side of the abdomen. And release with an audible sigh. Namaste everyone. Thank you for joining. And I'll see you again next week for another episode of our QiGong 5 Elements Flow. Until then, take good care.